Welcome back to the channel where we explore the hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. Rarest coins. Today we're diving into a coin that many people think is just another piece of change. But what if I told you that a 1961 Jefferson nickel, a coin that most of us have seen hundreds of times, could actually be worth up to $1.8 million? That's right, one nickel, 5 cents, and it could be worth nearly $2 million. Before you shake your head and think it's impossible, stick around, because today we're uncovering the incredible history, the collector value, and the rare error that turned one 1961 Jefferson nickel into one of the most expensive nickels ever known. Let's start with the basics. The Jefferson nickel has been part of U.S. coinage since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The design features the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the front, and his famous Virginia home, Monticello, on the back. This design, created by Felix Schlag, became one of the most iconic and longest-running designs in U.S. coin history. In 1961, the United States Mint struck hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels. Coins were produced in two major locations that year: Philadelphia, which had no mint mark at the time, and Denver, which used the D mint mark on the reverse of the coin to the right of Monticello. The coins were made from a copper-nickel alloy, and the majority of them went straight into circulation. They were used in vending machines, handed out as change, lost in couch cushions, and collected in jars. On the surface, they looked no different from any other nickel in your pocket, but as any coin expert will tell you, it's not always what you see, it's what you don't see that makes all the difference. Now let's talk value. The average 1961 Jefferson nickel is only worth its face value. Even in uncirculated condition, most examples sell for just a few dollars. However, when it comes to rare variations and high-grade specimens, the story changes dramatically. One important feature collectors look for is full steps. The Monticello building on the reverse has a staircase at the front. If all 5 or 6 steps are fully visible and well struck, the coin is known as having full steps, and this greatly increases its value. A 1961 Jefferson nickel with full steps in mint state condition can easily be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But now let's get to the heart of the story. There is one version of the 1961 Jefferson nickel that broke all the rules, a coin that shocked the numismatic world. It was a mint error so rare that only one known example exists, and it sold for an unbelievable $1.8 million. So what made it so special? This particular 1961 Jefferson nickel was mistakenly struck on a gold placket. That's right, it was accidentally struck using a blank intended for another coin, possibly a foreign gold coin or a U.S. Mint experimental piece. Not only did the metal composition make it extremely rare, but the strike was nearly perfect. The details were sharp, the surfaces were clean, and the coin had never been in circulation. Once it was discovered, the coin was examined by top experts and authenticated by a major grading service. It was given a near-perfect mint state grade and was certified as a genuine, one-of-a-kind error. With that level of rarity and condition, its value skyrocketed, and it sold in a private transaction for $1.8 million. One coin, one mistake at the mint, and a payday worth more than most people will see in their lifetime. Now the million-dollar question is this: could there be more? It's always possible. That's what keeps collectors searching, day after day, checking change, sorting rolls, and inspecting every coin that passes through their hands, because the next incredible discovery could be out there, just waiting to be found. So what should you be looking for in a 1961 Jefferson nickel? First, check for a mint mark. If the coin has a D, it was struck in Denver. No mint mark means Philadelphia. Next, check the condition. If the coin looks brand new, with no scratches or wear, it might be uncirculated. If the steps on Monticello are fully visible, that's a major bonus. Then check for anything unusual. Is the color off? Does the coin feel lighter or heavier than usual? Does it sound different when dropped? These can all be clues that your coin might be an error or struck on the wrong placket. If anything looks suspicious, in a good way, it might be worth sending the coin to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for professional evaluation. Even if you don't have the $1 million version, High-grade examples of the 1961 Jefferson nickel are still highly collectible, and some varieties, like double die strikes or off-center errors, can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars on their own. The key is to look closely and be patient. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby for some people, it's a gateway to discovering real, life-changing value. So the next time you get change at the store, or dig through an old jar of coins, don't pass over that nickel too quickly, because history has shown us that even the most common-looking coin can sometimes be worth a fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a hidden treasure story. Drop a comment and tell us what coin you'd like us to cover next, or share your own discovery story. Thanks for watching. Keep hunting, keep learning, and as always, a happy collecting. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden stories and hidden treasures hiding in your pocket change. Today we're shining the spotlight on a coin most people wouldn't look at twice. The 1986 Jefferson nickel. It's a coin you've probably spent 100 times without even thinking about it. But what if I told you one version of this very coin is worth a staggering $1.3 million? That's right, one nickel, 5 cents, valued as over $1 million. Before you start digging through your couch cushions or coin jars, stay with me, because the story behind this coin is fascinating. It's a mix of history, minting mystery, collector passion, and one in a billion rarity. Let's start with a little history. The Jefferson nickel was first minted in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel that came before it. It features a profile of Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello, his Virginia home, on the reverse. The design was created by Felix Schlag and remained largely unchanged for over 60 years. In 1986, the U.S. Mint was producing coins as usual. The Denver Mint struck millions of nickels that year, and those coins all bear the D Mint mark just to the right of Jefferson's bust. The 1986 Jefferson nickel was made of a copper-nickel alloy, just like others from its era. At first glance, there's nothing particularly special about it. In fact, the Mint produced over 370 million nickels that year at the Denver facility alone. So how does a coin that common end up being worth over $1 million? That's where the story gets interesting. Like many legendary coins, the high-value version of the 1986 Jefferson nickel isn't valuable just because of age or design. It's valuable because of an extremely rare mint error combined with near-perfect condition. One known example, which sold in a private collector's market, was struck on a plankett intended for a different denomination entirely. Instead of being struck on the usual copper-nickel blank used for nickels, this coin was accidentally minted on a gold-colored foreign plankett. Not only was the metal composition wrong, but the coin was also in almost perfect condition. The strike was flawless, the details were crisp, and the coin had never been in circulation. It was a unicorn in the coin world, a freak minting error that never should have existed but somehow slipped past inspection and ended up in the hands of a very lucky collector. Once discovered, this coin was sent to a top-tier grading service. It was authenticated as genuine and graded at an exceptionally high mint state level. It was then auctioned off in a private sale for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. This was no ordinary nickel. It was an accident, a one-in-a-billion kind of mistake that slipped through the cracks and became one of the most valuable Jefferson nickels ever recorded. Now let's get into what makes a 1986 Jefferson nickel valuable today. Most nickels from that year are worth only face value, but certain features can make a huge difference. The first thing to look at is condition. A regular 1986 Jefferson nickel in uncirculated condition, especially one graded MS65 or higher, can sell for $10 to $50, sometimes more if the luster and strike are exceptional. Then there are error coins. These are where things get exciting. Some known valuable errors from this year include double die obverses, off-center strikes, and nickels struck on the wrong plankett. If your coin has unusual coloring, looks thinner or thicker than normal, or if the design seems off-center or doubled, it could be an error coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And while finding the exact $1 million error coin may be a once-in-a-lifetime event, Other error coins from this year have sold for big money. A 1986 nickel with a strong double die error in mint state condition could fetch several $1,000s depending on how rare and dramatic the doubling is. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1986 nickel? Start by examining the coin under a magnifier. Check the date and mint mark for doubling. Look closely at the lettering around the rim and the details on Jefferson's face and hair. Examine the reverse side, especially the steps of Monticello. A coin with full steps and nowhere can be significantly more valuable to collectors. Next, weigh the coin. A regular Jefferson nickel should weigh 5 grams. If your coin is noticeably lighter or heavier, it may have been struck on the wrong plankett. That's a red flag worth checking out. Finally, if your coin looks unusual or is in extremely good condition, consider sending it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. These professional graders can confirm whether your coin is a rare error, assign a grade, and give it the certification it needs to gain value in the collector's market. So what's the takeaway from all of this? The 1986 Jefferson nickel might seem like just another coin, but under the right circumstances, with the right error and the right condition, it can be worth a small fortune. Most will never reach that $1 million mark, but some will come close, and every time you check your change, you increase your chances of finding that one special coin that slipped through the cracks of history. So don't ignore your nickels. Take a closer look, because the next time you reach into your pocket, you just might pull out a piece of American numismatic history. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories about rare coins and unexpected treasures, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a hidden gem. Drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, or let me know what year you'd like me to cover next. Thanks for watching. Keep checking your change, and as always, happy hunting. Let me know if you'd like background music suggestions, pacing notes, or visuals to match different parts of the script. Welcome back to the channel where we dive into the fascinating world of coins and the hidden treasures that might be sitting right under your nose. Rarest coins today. We're talking about a coin that most people overlook every single day, the 1989 Jefferson nickel. It's the kind of coin you'll find in your change or lying forgotten at the bottom of a drawer. But here's the kicker. There's one version of this coin that's reportedly worth an incredible $1.2 million. That's right, a 5-cent coin, worth more than a luxury home, more than most people's lifetime savings. And it's not a myth. It's the result of rare minting circumstances, collector demand, and one of the most jaw-dropping error stories in modern coin history. So let's get into it. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple in American pockets since 1938. That's when it was first introduced, replacing the Buffalo nickel. It featured the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, on the obverse side, and his iconic home, Monticello, on the reverse. The original design was created by Felix Schlag and became a fixture of American currency for decades. By 1989, the Jefferson nickel still looked very similar to how it did when it was first introduced. The front featured Jefferson's bust facing left, and the back still showed Monticello in fine detail. That year, the U.S. Mint struck millions of these coins. In fact, at the Philadelphia Mint alone, where the 1989 version was produced, over 600 million nickels were made. With that kind of number, you'd think there's nothing rare about it. But in the world of coin collecting, it's not just about quantity. It's about quality, condition, and most importantly, errors. And that's where the 1989 Jefferson nickel becomes something truly special. Let's talk about a typical value first. Most 1989 nickels you'll find in circulation today are only worth their face value, 5 cents. But coins that have never been used, coins in pristine uncirculated condition, can sell for more. A high-grade 1989 nickel that has been professionally graded at MS65 or higher could fetch anywhere from $10 to $100. depending on demand and condition. That's already a nice jump from 5 cents. But then there's the big story, the $1,000,000 mystery. A single 1989p Jefferson nickel was discovered to have a dramatic and extremely rare minting error. It wasn't just a small die crack or a bit of doubling on the lettering. This coin was struck on the wrong plankett entirely. Instead of being made on the usual copper-nickel blend used for nickels, this particular coin was mistakenly struck on a gold-toned plankett they possibly intended for a foreign coin or a commemorative issue. The weight was off, the color was completely different. The coin didn't match anything the US Mint was supposed to be producing, and yet, somehow, it was struck with the 1989p dies and slipped out into circulation. When the coin was discovered, it caused a stir in the numismatic world. Experts and grading services examined it thoroughly. It was confirmed to be genuine, not a fake, not a novelty, but a real mint error that had escaped the mint's quality control. Its condition was immaculate, no signs of circulation, a crisp, clear strike, flawless detail. This coin was eventually sold through a private dealer and valued as a mind-blowing $1.2 million. The story of how it escaped the mint, where it ended up, and how it was eventually found reads like a modern treasure hunt. Now, this kind of coin is incredibly rare. You're not going to find one of these every day. But it proves something that coin collectors already know, that even the most ordinary-looking coins can hide unbelievable value if you know what to look for. So what should you be looking for in a 1989p Jefferson nickel? First, check the mint mark. You'll see a small letter P to the right of Jefferson's portrait. That tells you it was minted in Philadelphia. Next, check the condition. Coins that are bright, free from scratches, and have strong details are more valuable. Look at Monticello on the back. If you can count all the steps clearly, you might have a coin in great shape. Collectors call this full steps or FS, and it's one of the first things they look for. Now the fun part. Look for errors. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to look at the date and lettering. If anything looks doubled, off-center, or unusual, take a closer look. A double die error, for example, can add serious value. If the coin looks too thick or too thin, or has a strange color or unusual weight, it might have been struck on the wrong plankett. That's a huge red flag in the best way. A regular nickel should weigh 5 grams. If your 1989p nickel is significantly lighter or heavier, it's worth investigating. Take it to a coin shop or contact a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can officially grade and certify the coin. That certification is what turns a cool find into a valuable piece of coin history. So what's the takeaway from all this? The 1989p Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of how something ordinary can turn out to be extraordinary. Most are just worth 5 cents, but the rare ones are the errors, the misstrikes, the flawless survivors can be worth thousands, even millions. All it takes is one lucky find, one sharp eye, and the knowledge to recognize what you've got. If you've made it this far, you're ahead of the game. You know what to look for. You know the story. And now, the next time you see a Jefferson nickel, you'll never look at it the same way again. If you found this video interesting, go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you want more stories like this, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about the hidden value of coins you already own. And drop a comment below if you've ever come across a rare find or want me to cover another year. Thanks for watching. Keep checking your change, stay curious, and as always, happy hunting. Let me know if you want voiceover pacing notes, visual cue suggestions, or a shortened version for Instagram or TikTok.